Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing today? In today's video, we're going to start to talk about hyperinflation and US dollars pricing out Venezuelan consumers. So, I hope you're ready for this, okay? Coffee, possibly chocolate. Better make it dark chocolate. Yeah. All right. So, Yasmar Sanguino, okay, says that she struggles to put food on the table for her 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren in a low-income neighborhood of Venezuela's capital. She often whips up arepas, and that's Arepas. It's a traditional flat, round corn patties, okay, with butter and cheese. But it's hard to avoid even those, or afford those few ingredients. Now, for something like that, for us, it's kind of like a grilled cheese, right? What would that cost us? $3 to go to the store, run out to the store, go get some butter, like the sticks of butter, like the Blue Bonnet. What is that, 89 cents? Some cheese, bread, right? Okay, $3-4, okay? There is food, but the money is lacking. Because if you buy one thing, you can't buy the other, she said. If you buy butter, you can't buy cheese. Or if you buy the cheese, you can't buy the butter. And she's among the relatively fortunate Venezuelans who have at least some access to dollars. Money sent by a son who immigrated to the United States as the South American nation's social, political, and economic crisis worsened. More than 40% of Venezuelan households receive some remittances from abroad, which last year were expected to reach $4 billion. According to the consultancy from, okay, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this, Econoanalytica, Econoanalytica. It's based in Caracas. It's the capital. The money often flows through a network of third-party foreign bank account holders who charge commissions. Digital payment methods such as Zelle, Zelle, or via friends, relatives traveling home with cash. The country's socialist government 2 years ago gave up its long and complicated efforts to restrict transactions in dollars in favor of the local bolivar, that Bolivar, whose value have been obliterated by the world's worst inflation. That has largely ended shortages that for years left markets with chronically empty shelves. But it means many Venezuelans paid in bolivars whose value evaporates by the day can't afford what's on those shelves. We're seeing that here. We're also, but it's not just in the supermarkets. Look at our gas prices. Look at the prices of homes. The government last week announced it would lop 6 zeros off of the currency, a million to one change, with new bills as of October 1st. Currently, the 1 million Bolivar note is the largest denomination. It's worth roughly a U.S. quarter, so 25 cents. Hang on, I gotta let the dog sit. It's amazing, isn't it?
Sliding opened. Sliding closed.
To even think that their largest denomination is only worth 25 cents, US 25 cents. Their Venezuelan largest denomination is worth 25 US cents. And our US dollar is, the value of that is going down and down and down and down as well. But with other measures that would have little to no effect on the continuing erosion of value, the government already had to cut 3 zeros in 2008, 5 more in 2018. Despite repeated multiplications of the official minimum wage earned by millions of Venezuelans, it still amounts to about $2. Not even enough to buy a kilogram of chicken. They make $2 a month. Millions of Venezuelans anxiously wait for the semi-monthly arrival of heavily subsidized box of goods that cost between 43 cents and 62 cents and usually include corn flour, rice, oil, sugar, pasta, beans. Many scramble to make ends meet with side jobs, home bakeries, haircuts, car repairs, food deliveries, bartering. And for some, the end doesn't meet at all. Per capita consumption of protein dropped 60% between 2013, when President Nicolas Maduro took office, in 2019, according to investment firm Torino Capital. Consumption of chicken plunged 82% during that period, while eggs fell 66%. A report from the UN Food and Agriculture Organization found that roughly a third of Venezuelans reported they had no food stored up, and 11% reported sometimes go a day without food. The UN World Food Program in 2019 reported that 6.3% of children under 5 were acutely malnourished, 13.4% were stunted, and 30% were anemic. About 24% of women between the ages of 15 and 49 were also anemic. The value of the bolivar had been collapsing for years despite or because of government efforts to control the exchange rate. It rapidly expanded the money supply even as there was less to spend it on, with an economy that was producing fewer goods and eventually exporting less oil. But massive blackouts in 2019 began to change the dynamic. this is where we're going to be. I spoke about Bosnia the other day. That was like a war zone. This is Venezuela right now. Right now. This is going to be us. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Consumers without an enormous stash of paper bolivars couldn't go to the grocery store because credit card terminals were not working. People charged $1 to power up cell phones. Bags with ice went for $10. By the end of the year, the government had abandoned efforts to constrict the US dollar. That was a boon for the private sector, which began importing all sorts of goods that Venezuelans had not seen in years. Duarte said sellers initially were wary of setting prices in dollars. Most customers had none, and many feared the government would still crack down. But after a while, it became evident that, look, I'm using dollars, and the sale of the products is flowing better. These days, Duarte said, 60% of transactions are in US dollars, a fact that snarls life for those without greenbacks. It's very complicated for a person like me who retired from the university, 27 years of service professional. I had the position of head of public relations, and my salary does not even reach $5. I'm going to stop right there for just a second. I want every single person who's watching this video right now, because I'm going to do the same thing. Imagine your life and you only making $5 a month. That's it. They work just as hard as we do every single day. And they're only making between $2 and $5 a month. Imagine trying to live your life and pay your bills and feed your family. If that happens here, because guess what? UBI, that's what it's all about. Control. And I'm not trying to sit here and fearmonger and No. This is what's coming. You've seen the proof. I've showed it to you. Trish has showed it to you. What more do you need so you can see what's really coming at us? This is the reality of Venezuelans. Every single day, they have to live like this. They can't get out. They can't change this. They can't change it. Even dollar prices have risen sharply, partly because the currency itself is less scarce. A set of basic goods for a family of 5, including flour for arepas, chicken, sardines, and butter, in May cost almost 4 times more in dollar terms than it did 2 years ago. In 2019, when the use of the dollar was still restricted, with $100 you could make a complete market run and you still had plenty. Currently, the basic basket is around $390 a month. The same market basket and public transportation costs a family of 5 eat up at least 174 minimum wages, about 1.2 billion bolivars. The shelves stocked with important olive oils and imported cheeses give an image of a prosperity. But it is an environment of scarcity. At the same time, because now there is an excess of products, but you do not have the purchasing power to buy the ones you want. You get what you need to barely live. All sides blame part of Venezuela's problem on falling oil prices. Critics blame government mismanagement, corruption for the collapsing output of the country's main export and its failure to diversify the economy away from oil. From a peak of about 3.2 million barrels of oil a day in 1997, the country with the world's largest oil reserves today pumps out fewer than 500,000 barrels. The government blames U.S. sanctions for many of its economic woes, and Maduro last month accused a few rich Venezuelans, whom he did not name, of manipulating prices, warning of possible action against them. There are no untouchables in the Venezuelan oligarchy, he said. Price controls, expropriations, and other measures also destroy much of the country's productive apparatus over the years. And without revenues from oil exports, the government doesn't have the money for imports to meet its population needs. In the past, the government would print all the money they wanted and hand it out like confetti all over the economy. What's happening here? What's happening? Stimulus, UBI. Are you listening yet? And that, to some extent, kept the wheels going, if you will. But you still had inequality. But now, in order to survive, you need dollars. So do you see where this is going? They did the same thing that we're going through right now. UBI. And oh, look. You'll have money in your bank. It's free money. Free. Nothing is ever free. Nothing. We're going to end up just like them. Where you can afford to buy butter but not cheese. Cheese but not butter. Chicken, what's that? It's a thing of the past. Can't afford it now. What? Why? Eggs? Yeah. And people think that we're the crazy ones because we stockpile. For those of us that stockpile and we say, well, we've got about 2 years worth of food or 3 years worth of food or yada, yada, yada. When this all comes down, if it comes down, because I'm not going to say, yep, it is. Look at me, fortune teller. Nope. No. Those preps are only going to last for so long. And then we're going to have to be forced to wait in bread lines and whatnot. So, I'm going to say this. Before prices get any higher, while we can still afford it, before this happens here, right? Stack it to the rafters, kids. Stack it. Don't wait. You know? I mean, even if it's just an extra case of beans, an extra pound of rice, an extra thing of whatever, okay? Hell, even if you're just buying an extra thing of ramen noodles, whatever. Because guess what? Those ramen noodles, you're not going to go hungry with that. You know what I'm saying? You got to... do something, please. Those poor people. I feel so bad. And there's not a darn thing anybody can do. They can't get out. They can't. They can't afford it. $5 a month. That's it. That's it. Put yourself in their shoes for 2 seconds. You'll be screaming, kicking, and yelling, and fighting and biting your way to get the hell out. Shit, some of us spend $5 on a coffee. Think about it. All right. I'll see you guys later on tonight. 7 o'clock, live with Trish on my channel. I love you. I'll see you later. Stay safe. Stay positive, keep prepping, and as always, fear less. You know that. I swear I'm going to get that tattooed on my ass. Oh! Bye.